Shelley with the show live, local, topical, and relevant. As we said, we are playing the music of Ace Frehley, who died, and rest in peace. Member of Kiss, had some solo work, and we're celebrating his life in music. I want to go back to my guest, Gina Barr. So, Gina, when we went to break, Gina wrote an article. For those of you just joining me, Gina is a good friend of mine. She's a political consultant, and she was executive director of the Black Coalitions for the 2024 Trump campaign. I say that is important because, if you remember, during the election, Trump increased his black vote numbers, and it was because of her and her team. So I want you to understand that what she's saying, she knows, and she's proven it, and she's done it, and it's worked. And so before we went to break, Gina, I asked you the question is, how do candidates on the Republican side navigate particularly this issue here with these text threads, right? You're in a primary. You have to win. Part of the base, might fall in this category of these young Republicans. How do you navigate that without losing the race? And the example I would give you is John McCain, to his credit, when he was running against Barack Obama, a woman stood up at a town hall and asked about Barack Obama being a Muslim and he's dangerous. And John McCain said, I work with Barack Obama in the Senate. He's not like that and don't talk like that. And he lost. I asked that question. How do candidates navigate this?
Well, I think candidates need to have honest conversations with their constituents, and they have to explain, like, if you say if you're in a town hall situation and you have people saying like, oh, well, it's not a big deal, it's just a group chat, you have to bring it back and make them understand, like, yes, this is a big deal because this is how it impacts the race and impacts us across the country. The only way that you're going to be able to get people to come to your side is if you educate them, but also not be emotional about it, and then also point out the fact that culturally, minorities think differently than white people about some subjects, right? And so, like I posted in the article with, what you read on air in Pew Research, that black and brown people, they find their race central to their identity. That's central to who I am as an individual. And that's not something that white people think about at all. So white people will not be able to understand how, in some cases, how African Americans and Hispanics and even Asians, how we see some things, right?
Right.
But you have to understand, and you have to respect those differences. Respect the differences. Talk to each other to understand what those differences are, and then that way, you can come together and come up with a plan, and then you can explain. Because if I don't feel like that you care about me, care about my beliefs, care about my family, why should I vote for you?
Absolutely, and that's on both sides of the aisle. And Democrats are seeing that in their own party with the things that they've been concentrating on. That's why there are people leaving that party.
Right.
Before I let you go, I want to take this call because there's a caller. He wants to respond to you, and I just want Sly from Marietta. Hold on. Oh, no, I did. Get her back on, please. Yeah. Oh, I hung up on everybody. All right. Well, oh man, she'll call back. She's calling back now. Gina, pick her up. Yeah, Gina, I'm sorry about that. I got to ask them to do it because I can't take. I don't know how to do it here. Gina, before I let you go, I want to ask you this fundamental question. This text thread, in your opinion, does it really do the damage that people like you and yourself and myself, does it do the damage that we think it will do in the midterms, or do you think it passes away, in a day or two and we keep it moving?
I think what it does is that the Democrats are going to take whoever's running for office, however they commented on it, right? They're going to take that and use it against candidates and campaign ads. So it will affect, because they're taking screenshots of what people. So if you're running for office, that's something that you need to think about. You should always think about if you're thinking about running, if you are thinking that you might consult or anything, if you, like, I might run, I might not run, do not ever post or put anything in print that you think might be used against you in a political campaign ad. That's one of my, like, fundamental rules.
Right. So those who don't answer on the Republican side or don't comment on this text thread are better off than those who do one way or the other.
I think the ones that don't say anything, that they have not said it, because I have the Telegram app as well, and I can tell you that I am in a, you can be in group chats and then have it on silent and not and forget that you're even in this chat, So right. I'm a little, I'm in my 40s, so I'm not always up on.
I thought you were 18.
No, so I'm not up on everything. So I'm one of those people that will be in a group chat, put it on silent, and won't read anything that's going on in the group chat.
But you're still there. You could be accused of it.
Right, exactly. But that's something that you got to think about.
Right.
So if you're involved in this game, if you're not involved in this game, if you're not going to run for politics, then this doesn't apply to you, right? But if this is something that you want to do, if you're planning on doing, if you might do it, I don't care how young you are, like 20, 21, 18, anything that you don't ever post anything that can use against you in a campaign ad.
Absolutely. Gina Barr, I appreciate you joining us. The guy that called in, he wanted to say that Latinos respond differently to racism. What do you want to say to that?
I don't respond to I'm not Latino.
Gotcha.
So I don't feel comfortable speaking for other groups because I'm not.
Right, my girl. Great call. Okay. Great interview. I love you very much. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll talk soon. We'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye. My friend Gina Barr, she knows what she's talking about. She's absolutely right in everything she said. 448-720-750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. Oh, by the way, I've got a couple minutes. Sly, well, we answered it. She answered it already. Guess what I did today, Magic Mike?
What'd you do today?
So I'm listening to Judd Higginbotham on Atlanta's Morning News, all right? And, oh, by the way, I spoke to Chris Chandler. He'll be back on Monday. He's feeling much better. So,
okay, good.
That's very good. Good news on that. And shout out to Chris. We missed you, my brother, and we can't wait to hear you back on the air on Monday. So Judd filled in, did a wonderful job all week long, right? Judd Higginbotham, and he's talking to Paws Atlanta. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not familiar, Paws Atlanta is like an adoption agency for cats and pets and dogs and things like that. And they have a special thing that runs. It's on our WSBRadio.com. It's on the app and on WSBRadio.com. They have a pet of the month that you can adopt. And shout out to Finley Roofing, right? It's Finley Roofing, all right? Finley Roofing pays all the adoption fees, right? Which is very cool. And shout out to Finley Roofing for doing that. It's a pretty cool thing, right? So I'm driving into work. Let me make sure of that because I don't want to mess that part up. So as I check and see if I'm right about the Finley Roofing part. So I'm driving into work and I am listening to Judd do an interview with the dog of the month, not with the dog, but with the Paws Atlanta folks. And the dog of the month this month is a dog called Carlisle. And they're talking about Carlisle. Carlisle is a terrier pit bull mix. And it's great color, nice, that gray kind of like light gray color. It's a beautiful dog. I looked at the picture. I'm at a red light listening, and I pull it up. Because I've had the urge to adopt a dog for a while now, and because I got this big house, I got a lot of yard space, and I'm just like, man, I want a little, I want something when I come home, jumping up and down and cheering for me when I get home. I don't have that, so I'm listening to this great interview, and I let's see here, yes, Finley Roofing, right, is the sponsor, so they cover all the adoption fees, right? So I'm listening to the interview. I pull up the picture, and I fall in love with this dog, Carlisle, 1 year old, a year old, a couple months. So I call them and leave a voicemail, right? I'm like, So then they send me back an email, right? I get an email back, and I get the email back, and they say, fill out this form, and then we'll set up a meeting where you could come. It's in a foster home now. You could come meet the dog, and then we'll have the dog come to your house to basically to check out your house, right? Making sure, the dog is going to be comfortable, right? And I know the dog's going to love my house because I got a lot of space. I got a little dog run off of one of my decks. I got a lot of space outdoors. It's going to be and I got a lot of space in the house. It's just me. So me and the dog going to have a great time, right? So I fill out the whole form, and I'm so excited because if I get approved, I'll have a little dog, and I didn't want one of these cutesy little dogs because I'll be honest with all of you, and I'm not talking about Mark's dogs and things like that, because these are nice dogs. I'm talking about the girl dogs, little girly dogs that you could fit in a handbag, right? You know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about small dogs. I'm talking about the French poodles and things like that. I don't care how expensive they are. I'm just being sexist here. Whenever I see a grown man walking with these little dogs, my thoughts change. I'm looking at him like, oh, geez, what are you doing, dog? For real, not dog meaning the dog, meaning homie. You know what I mean? I'm like, what are you doing, dog? Why are you walking with that tiny little dog? And when it barks, rap, rap, you know what I mean? It doesn't even make a lot of noise. And I'm like, it's too cute. Men should not have cute little dogs like that women carry. It's just not cool. I'm sorry, it's just not cool. It's like how I feel with men with cats. It's just not a cool thing, Some old school. I had a cat growing up. My mom got a cat because we couldn't have dogs in my building. But when I became an adult and got my first apartment, I never had a cat from that point on because men are just not supposed to have cats. I know it's crazy. I know it's old school. Please don't get mad at me. These are just the things that Shelley Winter grew up thinking. All right? And someone called in and said, the last thing I need to do is get a dog. I don't know what that means. Is that someone who knows me personally? But anyway, I'm hoping I get approved. But go to WSBRadio.com. This Pause Atlanta thing is probably one of the great promos or promotional things that we do. PauseAtlanta.com and then Finley Roofing covering the adoption fees, and it saves you a lot of money. And so if you're like me and you've been looking at trying to get a dog for about a year and a half now, it's been in the back of my mind early on that it's something and then today was the day that I really made a move to do it. So I hope they approve me. I'd be a great dog owner. I'm a great bonus dad. Why wouldn't I be a great dog owner? Right? And then we can bring out, everyone brings their dog to work all the time. So I'll be able to bring them to work every now and then. Right? Because everyone's always bringing their dog and they bring them around, they sniff you, they smell you and everything. So why can't I bring mine? Because they ask you that. And I'm at home most of the day. Remember, I get off the air at 9 o'clock. I get home about 9:30. I'm home from 9:30 at night pretty much 5 days a week, 6 days a week. I'm at home from 9:30 at night all the way until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon the next day. So my dog will have a lot of attention from me during the day at home. So I'm very excited. Shout out to Pause Atlanta. Have I brown-nosed enough to get approved, do you think, Magic Mike?
I sure hope so.
I sure hope so, too. But I also promoted what we're doing on the air and Finley Roofing, so no one can accuse me of really brown-nosing Pause Atlanta. We'll be right back. It's the Shelley Winter Show. I want to talk about Doge cuts, and again, talking to my Republicans, and I want to address something that Gina said earlier too, as well. That's all next on the Shelley Winter Show. We'll be right back.